Hi dear friends, welcome back to Sundar's N Circle English YouTube channel. Now in this video we are going to learn about William Shakespeare. He was born on 1564 and died on 1616. Before embarking into this topic, let us see now some interesting facts and his background about Shakespeare period. Dear friends, you know that Shakespeare lived and wrote during what is known as the English Renaissance period, which is lasted from about 1485 through 1660s, generally what we call it as Elizabethan era or Elizabethan period. This period is also known as Elizabethan age, you know that. Named after Queen Elizabeth, who ruled England from 1558 to 1603. In this particular Elizabethan age, England was flourishing and London was becoming one of the largest cities in Europe. However, life was not easy for everyone. During this period, Catholics experiences a religious persecution, and also women were subjected to many restrictions. They are not allowed to do what they wish to do. Most English people endured crowding, living conditions, and an unsatisfactory diet. In this Elizabethan age, rich and poor are alike were defenseless against bubonic plague. Due to this plague, rich and poor are equalized. In 1564, the year in which Shakespeare was born, nearly one-third of his hometown died of the plague. Lost many siblings due to the plague. He lived in the age in which man lived instantly, thought instantly. And then eternal human questions of good and evil. He generally deals with the theme love, friendship, and political theme. We came to know a little about himself and a vast knowledge of fellow beings. About his family, he married at the age of 18 to Anne Hathaway. She was at that time 26th. She was elder than 8 years. Who was pregnant with this child. The first child was a daughter Susanna, born in 1583, and then again she gave birth to twins. They are named as Amnet and Judith, born in 1585. And then what happens? At the age of 11, Amnet dies. And then he moved to London around 1591 and became an actor who worked with the Lord Chamberlain's company of players, later known as Kingsmen, you know that one. About his works, he wrote more or less 37 very successful plays. About the vocabulary used by this author was a use in between 17,000 to 34 words. You just imagine that one. Even scholars, what we used to call them, the person today is around 50,000 words vocabulary in their usage. Beside his acting, he was also wrote some of the most renowned and studied literature written in the English language. He was also composes too many sonnets, about 156 sonnets. He was very famous for sonnets also, and his plays are falls into three category: comedies, tragedies, and historical plays. And then let us we know more about some comedies which are written by the same author: All's Well That Ends Well, As You Like It, The Comedy of Errors, Measure for Measure, and then Midsummer Night's Dream. After that, A Taming of the Shrew, and Much Ado About Nothing, Twelfth Night, and lastly Merchant of Venice. These are all belongs to comedies category. And next, William Shakespeare also famous for his great tragedies like Julius Caesar and Romeo Juliet. You might have heard these two dramas. And another type of tragedies, what we call it as a dark tragedies. We can remember these tragedies by that name HOKM. Hamlet, O for Othello, K for King Lear, M for Macbeth. And then William Shakespeare also wrote some historical plays based on the contemporary history. They are called as King Henry V, and then King John, the Richard II, and then Richard III. About his last years, a period between the 1585 and the 1592 is known as last years. Why? Because there are no documentary records about this Shakespeare activities. And then he returned to Stratford around 1610, where he lived as a country gentleman and also wealthy one, and owned one of the largest homes in that particular town. He died in the year 1616 at Stratford at the age of 52. Probably his death was a mystery. It is rumored that he drank too much and contracted a fever, or that he died from a cerebral hemorrhage. Let us see now some more points about Globe Theatre. We must be now some information about Globe Theatre, and then it is very easy for understand his Shakespeare techniques. Shakespeare and the Lord Chamberlain's men performed at Burbage Theatre until 1599, when they built their own playhouse, the Globe. He was also a partner for that theatre, the Globe. Shakespeare referred to the globe as this wooden O. O means it looks like O shape, almost like a cricket stadium in these days. This term that leads scholars to believe it was a circular building. Further about Globe Theatre, attending Shakespeare Theatre was quite different from attending the theatre today. It is thought of as a very quiet and austere. In Elizabethan England, it was a nice, popular gathering place for the people of all the ages and from all the walks of life, just like modern theatres. Further about Globe Theatre, in that Globe Theatre, drinking and eating were permitted in the fit, and also which often become a very noisy. If the spectator did not like a particular character or a scene, he or she would feel free to hiss or boo or through anything, or she might have an on. To compensate for lines that the audience could not hear, the actors used exaggerated gestures and facial expressions, unlike the natural method of acting that is used today. Today, Shakespeare plays takes almost 3 hours, then a play would have taken 2 hours or less. The original theatre was destroyed by fire in 1613. It was rebuilt in 1614, closed in 1642, and demolished in 1644. A modern reconstruction of the original globe named Shakespeare's Globe Theatre opened in 1997. Some other interesting points about this author: he mainly deals with the issues of human interest and also a problem of choices, and also a great classics of dramatic literature. This particular play, Julius Caesar, was written in the year 1599. It was considered as the historical Roman plays. That means it derived a source from some historical plays, translations of Plutarch's lives. The age in which he lived and wrote is considered as a golden age in English history. At that time, you know that one English ruled by Queen Elizabeth, and also impact of Renaissance persist in this period. About the particular play Julius Caesar, the theme of the play, it's a like choices between the friendship and his country, with special reference to the Brutus. This particular play looks like a historical play and as well as tragedy. Ludovic opinionated that, one of the critics, he opinionated that it deals with the dictatorship, liberty, and forms of government also. It focused on Brutus, with respect to the particular person, the compulsion of political ideology clearly revealed in this particular play. About the source, Sir Thomas translations of Plutarch's lives, probably the source of Julius Caesar. This particular historical play, based on European history, it deals with the timeless theme of consequences that follow the assassination of a strong ruler, Julius Caesar himself. Though about the ancient Rome relevance to us, but this play relevant to even today. No other play demonstrated like Julius Caesar as a great ideology and sincerity are very emotional. Finally, Caesarism persists even after murdered Caesar in that particular play. The characters reveals about Caesar, then Caesar himself. He employed this kind of technique, and also in fact of Caesar says about himself is a very less than others said. He usually created a towering man who climbed to the position of a hero in his place. As you can see in the play Macbeth also, Julius Caesar also, and so on and so forth. Though this play, named as a Julius Caesar, is not the hero of the play, you might wonder. He derived this material from Plutarch's 3 lives. Hence, we consider him a myth and legend of his own time. Some critics say about Shakespeare, Shakespeare's stage is the world, characters are types of universal mankind. His subject is the human soul. It tells us about the stage and then his character's type and then subject. His works stood the test of time and are relevant even today, as we all know that. He did not just write about his age, for all the ages he used to write. With respect to the political, social, and other issues he focused on. We can see his characters in any nations and any period of time. He had a very amazing influence on our English language. Some of his famous phrase, you have heard this phrase, you might have heard this phrase, I couldn't sleep a wink. He was dead as a doornail. She's a tower of strength. They hoodwinked us. We did better lie low for a while. I am constant as the northern star. It's all Greek to me, and so on and so forth. These are all famous phrases. You can see thousands of phrases like these. It tells about Shakespeare, inborn genius. Thanks for watching.